Hello everybody, Ian Robson. Welcome back to an episode of Coffee with Ian. So the Platinum Edition is out for Farm Sim, of course. A lot of people have been enjoying that. We have it on the server right now, which has been a lot of fun actually. Sugarcane's kind of an interesting crop because it regrows. So one of the things I noted in one of the episodes I recorded the other day was the fact that if you don't finish the whole field, you'll have like segments of the field done and segments of the field not done, which is kind of funny to kind of experience actually, which is interesting. It's one of the more I don't know, I find it kind of funny because it is such a small header, even on the self-propelled sugarcane harvester, it takes a long time. So unless you have like people just continuously running that thing, it's not necessarily the fastest thing to harvest, like poplars. I think I've said that already, but it's definitely like poplars to harvest it. But it's a neat little crop. It'd be cool if you could do more than just harvest it. Like if you could ferment it too, that would be kind of interesting. That would kind of make it a curious crop for the BGA. But I don't think they actually do it in real life, which is why they didn't add it in the game. But I just thought it'd be kind of a cool little add thing on there because it regrows. So you could have like a infinite amount of corn essentially for your BGA. But I don't know. Maybe someone will make a mod in the future, but I don't think that's the case because sugarcane is not really used for that in real life as far as I know. Unless it is, I don't know. If you know the answer to that question, let me know. So, also, this is for Spud. Or, yeah, well, it's like this side. I included the the ladder in there just for you, Spud, again. Anyways. Also, the other DLC that's finally out is the New Mexico DLC. People have been enjoying that as well. Checking out, one of the things I've heard a lot of people say is stuff like the new cargo is kind of nice. Some of the random events that happen is kind of neat as well. Some of the little Easter eggs people have found while driving around New Mexico has been kind of interesting. So all those things together have been pretty cool actually so far. And what was the other thing else? Did anything else come out that I'm thinking about? No, not thinking about that. Also, on the computer side of things, I have been kind of putting together a little bit of a build for a new computer, and I'm just kind of getting an idea of how much it is because I'm just kind of having it ready for like Black Friday in case there's some really super deals on some of the stuff I've put together. What I should do is put the build that I'm putting together right now in the comments. I think I can share that. I'll see if I can do that. If I don't do it, someone leave a comment saying, hey, don't forget to put that in there. But I'll put it in so far to show you what I have built thus far, which is kind of an interesting little build so far. What did I put in there? I put a GTX 1080 so I could do VR in the future, an i7 7700K. What was the motherboard I put in there? I think it's an AS. Was it an AS Rock? I don't know. Let's check it out. I think I even have it up here still. Let's go there. Saved parts lists. November. I want to see the whole build. Let's see here. Why did it only save the one thing? I'm so confused. No. Apparently it only has the one thing on there. That's weird. So yeah, apparently I have the GTX 1080 8GB for the win gaming ACX GeForce, which is a pricey card actually, very pricey. I don't know why I didn't save everything else, but yeah, that's bizarre. Build guide, no, I don't know. I had more than that saved in there, but I guess what happened was it just didn't put it all together. Edit part list. Maybe that's what I need to do again. Yeah, so I think I had that. For the CPU, I think I had an i7 7700. Let's add that. For the CPU cooler, I was using a cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, which is an amazing little CPU cooler, because apparently the one I looked at doesn't come with it. What was it that I added there? I think it was a maybe it was an Asus Strix Z270E gaming one. Was that sound right? Was that the right one? I think it might have been. Let's just assume that was the right one there. And that's pretty on par already. So that's what I had so far, roughly. I have to double check that now, but start a new parts list? No. Can I save this one so I don't have to do this all over again? Save as. Okay, here we go. No, I want to save it as overwrite. This one, how about there? Yeah, I guess that's what I just didn't do. So anyways, that's what I have built together so far. And I also need to put a new power supply. I don't know, some people might use the old power supply again, but I just decided to, I'm probably gonna get a new power supply, even though the one I have is a pretty fancy one right now. But I don't know, power supplies are one of those things. I talked to my buddy a while back about power supplies. He's like, yeah, it's one of those things you don't want to like, you don't want to, you know, cheap out on sort of thing. You want to make sure, you know, it produces all the power to all the components in your system, and it produces a very solid power. So you always want to make sure you get a little bit of extra wattage. Gold standard's always nice as well. So last time I got an EVGA 750 watt, I want to say it was. And the cool thing about this program I was just looking at, actually, I just noticed, it tells you the wattage required, which is kind of cool. So that's 386 watts thus far. So if I put some RAM in there, let's say if I want to edit some RAM, and I think, what was I looking at? Choosing memory. I wanted 16 gigabytes of RAM, G.Skill Ripjaws V series, sure. Or I could do, that's 3200. Yeah, I guess we'll go with that. And that's what I have in there so far. And I think the only thing I might need is new power supply and a Supernova. Let's go for a 85 gold standard. Yeah, so EVGA Supernova gold standard. So altogether, this is going to be, wow, that's pricey. 1,785. That's Canadian. Yeesh, that is pricey. That's what I was looking at. Now the reason why I'm just put it together is because I just wanted to see what the price was going to be like during Black Friday. So that's what I was kind of curious about. And the reason why I went for something, this is kind of like this is a pretty high-end system that I'm just piecing together. I may take the video card down a notch or two, but I want to be able to do VR, and one of the places I look for recommendations on video cards and motherboards and CPUs is called Tom's Hardware. They do a really great job of breaking everything down. If you know another place to look for good suggestions, I think what's his name? Linus Tech Tips does a pretty good job as well, if memory serves. So those are a couple places you might want to take a look at to see what's what. Yeah, it still says it only requires 400 watts. So I could probably drop down the power supply to something less than 750 watts, but if you want to put two SLE cards together sort of thing, then you would definitely need the second, you definitely need a pretty powerful power supply. But yeah, that's actually not that bad. I think my old system needed more than that. But yeah, that's what I was looking at. So the i7, 4.2 gigahertz. Anyways, I get really excited about like piecing together computers. I have so much fun doing it. I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. That's one of those things where you're kind of like, ooh, like what can we do? Like, and then the question becomes, this is what I want. And I'm like, oh, this is what I can afford. This is what I need, sort of thing. So the system I built is kind of like I don't know what you'd call it, a pretty fancy system, I guess, in reality. Yeah, I guess it's a pretty fancy system in reality, but you know, it'll get the job done. Like the one I have right now is it works fine actually. There are a couple of problems I have with it, but that's nothing to do with I don't know I'm not sure what that issue is really in the end. Now that I think about it, I never quite solved it, but I have had it running for a while now, and it still runs fairly well so far. But I am running into some issues. So like the one issue I've run into lately is with RAM, for example. What game was that? Gold Rush of all the games was the RAM issue I ran into with 16 gigabytes of RAM. CSX Heavy Haul was another game. That was a game that came out a while ago too that I ran into issues with as well. Remember, this is like a system I'm just kind of like thinking of. It's like, hey, this might be something I might look at. I told my wife, and she was like, really? Already? I'm like, I bought this system in December 2014, and she's like, grumble, grumble, grumble. I don't know. It was funny. We'll see. I may or may not do it. I don't know. I just wanted to build something, so in case there were some like pretty amazing deals on stuff during Black Friday, like these are kind of top end parts I was looking at, so I don't expect them to go on sale a lot. But usually Black Friday is really good for sales on electronics, and of course Boxing Day. So if I don't pull the trigger now, maybe I'll do it later. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I think that's all I got for today, folks. Sorry I rambled on about computers. I don't know, it's one of those things I like to talk about, and I'm sure some of you do too. So anyways, my name's Iain Robson. I hope you enjoyed. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and enjoy the coffee. It's a little cold now, but still good. Catch you guys later.